On this episode, we visit the Hawaii Bicycling League on Oahu and learn about their advocacy and education programs. We hop over to the Big Island of Hawaii, where the People's Advocacy for Trails Hawaii plays a similar role. Back on Oahu, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center protects pedestrians from a different type of peril. Too far to walk? Take the bus, Oahu's award-winning transit system. Our intersection of the month is a hybrid traffic circle in Fairfax County, Virginia. In Montgomery County, Maryland, volunteers maintain a local sidewalk. We also visit a dangerous underpass where there are no sidewalks. And finally, we attend the dedication of a badly needed bridge on the Capitol Crescent Trail. Stay tuned. We're here with Eve DeCourcy, who's Executive Director of the Hawaii Bicycling League. Tell me, what does the League do?
Well, John, we do a lot of things. We've been here for 26 years, and we've sort of grown up as we've been required to over the years. We used to be a small club that just did weekend rides for its members, but we've taken on a much more active role as the times have changed. We now put on 5 large annual events each year, and we also have an education program, which is like our flagship program. We go into all of the grade 4 classrooms on Oahu, and we would like to make this a statewide program is our aim. But we teach the children proper road behavior.
What do children that age tend to do wrong?
Children 9-10 years old have not been given any formal traffic education. They may have been told by their parents to just watch out for the cars, or to ride on the wrong side, which, as you and I know, is something very dangerous practice. But also at that age, children have not built up enough experience to be able to gauge speed, and so that when they look down the street and they see a truck coming towards them, or a car, they have no way of gauging how fast that vehicle is going and whether or not they would have time to make the maneuver that they were about to make, or across the street, or whatever. We have found that the most common accident for children that age is exiting right out of their own driveway. And so we teach them the very basics: to come to a stop at the edge of the street, look left, right, left, and then to make their maneuver safely. We teach them where to ride on the road so that they have enough distance between the curb and where they are riding, and how to behave at the stop signs.
And do you do any education efforts with other age groups?
We very much want to enlarge our program so that we can start teaching effective cycling to adults. But as at this point, we have only been able to get funding for our grade 4 program.
And you also are involved in, beyond the education side, the engineering side. And what do you do to try to get the roads more bicycle friendly?
That's not an easy one. Here in Hawaii, we have a special circumstance, and that is that we have very little space. And our roads were built narrow, and the telephone poles are put right along the edge of the roads, and there just is so little opportunity for widening our roads. That's within the city. On the state roads, we do have more opportunity, and we've been trying to convince the state now for several years that when they build a road, or when they are doing repaving, that a shoulder needs to be added, a good wide shoulder. Well, we're still at the point of trying to convince the state, but we do have a ongoing advocacy effort with both the state and the city levels.
And what would you like to see happen over the next several years?
Well, what we've come to realize, because of that situation that I just described, as space being so limited within the city, we would like to have a widespread education program for both adult cyclists and motorists, because we do believe that a conscientious road-using society, conscientious and careful, is what is going to make our streets safe out there. We can't have separate facilities for everybody. It's just not possible. But if everybody is very aware and very careful of each other, then that's what's going to bring our safety about. So we would like to convince DOT that it is their responsibility, and that education is a major part of the government's responsibility.
This is where the slogan "Share the Road" comes into play.
Very much so, yes, or drive with aloha, which is nice bumper sticker, but doesn't always happen.
We're in Kailua Kona with Ann Peterson with PATH, the People's Advocacy for Trails Hawaii. What is PATH?
PATH is a grassroots nonprofit organization that began 10 years ago after the death of a cyclist, and a bunch of concerned citizens got together. And through the 10 years, we advocate for safe places to recreate and bicycle safety education, pedestrian safety education, and nice wide shoulders and trails such as the one we're on today.
Now, what is this trail that we're on?
This is the Old Walua Road Bike and Pedestrian Scenic Route. And this was an old country road. Old county road. And we got the land from the county, who had kept the right-of-way. And the county did the paving for us. And about just a handful of volunteers put in about 700 volunteer hours to help us with putting bollards in, which are what keeps the cars from coming down this path. So
there's been a real community involvement here.
Yes, it has. It's big ownership, and we come out and kind of clear the trail. I think we're about due to come back out as I look around.
So things grow fast here in Hawaii.
Yes, they do. We've had a lot of rain.
Now, your educational activities, what do those involve?
Well, we have, we go into the schools. We go into first grade with the Walk Smart program and teach the kids how to walk, across streets, be careful of the danger zone around buses, and just things to look for, heads up kind of activities. And then we also go into the fourth grade, and we have a fleet of bikes, a big bike ed van that we take into the schools, and we set up a Main Street course. And some of the kids are bicyclists, and some of them are cars. It depends on what little symbol they have on the front of their bike. And they learn traffic behaviors, traffic safety behaviors. And then in the fifth grade, we go back in and do just kind of a refresher course to make sure everything's sunk in. And if it didn't, how can we better teach the course?
Do you do anything with older people once they've gotten out of school?
We do have an effective cycling course that we offer, and that's in cooperation with the League of American Bicyclists of Maryland. And we're, as a matter of fact, having a course next month, and that's for, again, for cycling. And the whole premise there is to try to get bicyclists to act in a responsible manner and kind of become more predictable, and also to act as vehicles, to not be afraid in traffic, and it also has some maintenance to the course, and
so you can keep your bikes in safe working condition.
Yes, which is very important.
Now, for a pedestrian versus a bicycle on the road, they have two very different types of behavior. What would be some of the differences?
Well, when you're riding a bike, you should always ride with the flow of the traffic. And I think the exact opposite is true if you're a pedestrian. You should walk towards the traffic. And so that's a big one right there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, but peds are against the traffic, bicycles are always with the traffic.
Yeah, and that's when we really had to kind of, I don't want to say pound in, but really stress in the schools with the kids, because they're used to just going anywhere, So, and then let's see, other differences, bikes for the most part do not have to stop at intersections if they have a red light or if they have a green light. Just go straight through. I think pedestrians should always stop at intersections and look both ways, and so there's that difference as well.
And over the next few years, you've had this one lovely trail built. What else are you hoping to see done here on the Big Island?
Oh, that's a great question. We're now just starting to build a Circle Island multi-use path, and our first leg will be from Kailua Kona here up to Kauai. This is the west coastline of the Big Island, and then eventually circle all the way around the island. A separated, dedicated bike pedestrian multi-use lane. So very excited.
Quite an ambitious program.
Yes. We have a great committee, and again, we're just getting going on that. So we haven't determined a route yet. We need to go out to the community and figure out where it should be. Its characteristics, hopefully there'll be nice little areas to stop along the way and see some of the archaeological sites.
We're at Ewa Beach with Bruce Turner at the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. Tell us, what is a tsunami?
Well, John, a tsunami is basically a disturbance in the ocean caused by a large earthquake.
And why are we concerned about tsunamis?
Well, tsunamis come in all sizes, but the large ones can be very devastating to coastal communities, carrying boats through houses and churches and businesses and so forth, and many other kinds of damages that can occur on the coast, and that's the reason we're here.
So what do we do here at the Warning Center?
At the Warning Center, we monitor all the time, 24 hours a day. We monitor for large earthquakes, and our operation is pretty much geared to responding to something greater than a 7 and on up, greater than a 7 on the normally referred to as the Richter scale. And so when one of these large earthquakes goes off, our pagers go off and we rush into the office, locate the earthquake quickly, and get a size on it, magnitude 7, 7.8, 8, whatever it is, and then we respond by sending messages out to the Pacific communities.
The job of alerting the public falls to whom?
The job of alerting the public falls on the civil defense agencies throughout the Pacific as well, but here in Hawaii, it's Hawaii Civil Defense, of course, and our connection with them is that we have hotline, telephone line all the time, 24 hours a day to them, and we also have a telecommunications circuit, and we provide them with all the information that we possibly can to get them ready to evacuate public locations, whether it's parks or beaches or businesses that are on the beach, hotels and so forth. And they do, just before they evacuate, they blow the sirens here in Hawaii, and so that's our connection with them.
And if I'm a pedestrian down near the beach and I hear the sirens go off, what should I do?
The instructions for that are in the front of all the Oahu phone books and other counties as well, Maui and Kauai and the Big Island. But the basic thing that you need to remember to do is just to move out of the way. The impact of the tsunami is going to be only in the coastal regions, and so for the most part you can just walk uphill to get out of the way. One of the things we always preach here, though, is for a local earthquake, one in which you felt very strongly and almost shook you off your balance, is that you need to move very quickly upslope, because that means you're only a few miles from the earthquake, and these tsunamis can move hundreds of miles per hour toward the coast, so you need to get out of the way in a hurry.
We're in Honolulu with Roger Morton, who's Vice President and Director of Operations for Oahu Transportation Services, TheBus. And I understand the bus won an award from the American Public Transit Association a couple years ago. What did you win, and why did you win it?
Well, we won the 1994-95 Most Outstanding Public Transportation System in the United States. And I think we won it because we have such a large ridership in Honolulu. A lot of service. You can go everywhere on a bus, and we've been able to improve the service so we have less frequent breakdowns, more reliable service, and all of those things together caused the industry to give us the Most Outstanding System Award.
Now, what sort of challenges do you face running a large bus company like this?
Well, there are a lot of challenges. You got to kind of be a jack of all trades, but our biggest challenges are funding, finding enough money to operate the system, and making sure that all the people that are employed by the system do their job right.
And what sort of changes do you anticipate over the next decade as we go on into the future?
Well, one of the big problems for buses in Honolulu is they get hung up in all the same traffic that all the cars get hung up in. And so we're working with the state and the city authorities to try to give priority to buses so that we can get people from the suburbs into town quicker and we can move them within town faster than we do right now.
I notice a lot of your buses have bicycle racks and wheelchair ramps. What's the story on those?
Well, the wheelchair ramps are a requirement of the Americans with Disabilities Act. They are fairly new to us. With about 4 years we started putting them in. Now about 50% of our buses have wheelchair ramps, and we have over 160 wheelchair boardings every day. The bicycles are a new program for us, and we've decided we put racks on the front of the buses. The bike riders are responsible for loading their own bikes, and we find it doesn't interfere with bus operations at all. So there's a number of people that use the bikes either to ride home with, or because they need to get someplace that the bus doesn't go to.
And you have a lot of tourists here in Honolulu. Someone comes in town on a jet plane. How do they find out about the bus, and how can they use the bus?
Well, first of all, we don't allow baggage, so we'd want them to get to their hotel room first. After they get to their hotel room, there's a number of ways that they can find out about the bus. We have some on the visitor cable channel. We have some videos running in Japanese that explain how to use the bus, since our Japanese visitors aren't used to American-style buses. We have information in visitor publications. In this week, we have a special telephone number that you can call, 848-5555, and our information specialist will help you plan a trip. You can contact us on the web at www.TheBus.org. That's THEBUS, all lower caps, .org. And we have a section on there on visiting on the bus and timetables and how to use the bus.
How much does it cost to ride the bus?
Well, we try to keep the bus very affordable for both residents and for visitors. The basic bus fare is $1. If you are a visitor, you can get a 4-day visitor pass at any ABC store in Waikiki for $10, and that's unlimited riding for 4 days.
It would be useful for a lot of visitors.
It's a lot of visitors use it. A lot of visitors like the bus, and it's an economical way to visit the islands.
So there's no need to rent a car here?
There is no need to rent a car on Oahu.
We have here Lana Elgoso, who's a senior customer service representative with TheBus. You're in charge of the education program here. How does that work?
Yes, we're in charge of educating the youth of Hawaii from different ages, from the elementary schools. I start off with preschool all the way through high school, but I deal mostly with the elementary school children that are learning to ride the bus and are out there riding it by themselves. We have we've done about 120 different schools or different age groups and covered about 5,000 kids.
What sort of things are you teaching kids that age?
Safety concerning when you're boarding the bus, what goes on inside the bus, if they need help, about getting the help from the driver, giving up their seats for the elderly and disabled, being aware of things to do when they're by themselves if they get lost. Basically, and graffiti on the bus, if they see that. Keeping our buses nice.
And are there other age groups you deal with other than children?
Well, we have a senior citizen program that we've done maybe about 20 different senior citizen groups, teaching them and educating them about safety on board the bus. not playing musical chairs while they're on the bus, because they tend to do that.
How well has the program been received?
Well, our students one, educating the students on safety, that program is really outstanding. We're booked from, I start off in the summer and they're booked all the way up to March and April of the next year. So a lot of schools, I'm forced to turn them down because I'm booked so bad.
We're at our intersection of the month in Fairfax County, Virginia. Arlington Boulevard and Lee Highway come together at Fairfax Circle. It's not a complete traffic circle like one of your rotaries, more like half a circle. But it does eliminate a lot of your left turn moves that would slow up traffic. What you have instead are some high-speed right turn moves. Very large radius turns meant to keep the traffic moving fast. That makes it a problem if you're a pedestrian. Turning traffic is your biggest danger at an intersection. They don't have any crosswalks marked. There are no pedestrian signals. It's not really clear what they expect pedestrians to do here. But for the same reason you have a lot of traffic moving through here, you have a lot of pedestrians. These are the main ways through. DOT has a little bit of work to do here.
Is there a dangerous intersection where you live? Nominated for Intersection of the Month. Write to Perils For Pedestrians, care of FCAC, 2929 Eskridge Road, Suite S, Fairfax, Virginia, 22031.
We're in Bethesda, Maryland with Jack Glenn of the Edgewood-Glenwood Association. What's going on today?
Well, this is a citizen work day. We're cleaning up, in this particular project, Old Georgetown Road sidewalk, which is quite overgrown with tree branches, and then also we're going to do some edging work so that it opens it up more easy access for pedestrians generally.
And is this something that has to be done on a regular basis?
It should be done really annually. We did it 2 years ago. And it was really overgrown then. This time it's also very overgrown. The clearances are really about adult height right now. We're bringing them up to about 8 feet or so that people can easily pass.
And if the people that lived along the street wanted to, how could they help you all out?
Well, my view is that they should be doing some of the edging in particular, and in fact they should be doing most of this. It is their trees in particular that are causing the most of the problem. But at the same time, it's a major public throughway, and it's something that the neighborhood and the community in general should be participating in because it is a major job.
We're so pleased that this year we have 266 projects in the next 5 hours that will be completed with the hands of 12,000 volunteers. And that's why those nonprofits will realize a savings of over $500,000. So we're thrilled that on this 10th anniversary of Community Service Day, we are bringing some real value that could not be done in any other way but with volunteers. So really, when you think of Community Service Day, it's just we ordinary people doing some extraordinary things.
We're on Quince Orchard Road in Gaithersburg, Maryland. We have with us Alan Migdal. What's the pedestrian peril here?
Well, we have a road which cars travel 40 and 50 miles an hour. Over here there's no sidewalk whatsoever, but at least you have a dirt path. Behind us you'll see that the dirt path peters out as a guardrail pushes you onto the lane of traffic with no shoulder at all. And I've seen a mother pushing a baby carriage trying to negotiate this in a lane of traffic with cars because there's just no other place to be.
And why would they be pedestrians here?
Well, you have a grocery store over at this end, and over here you have Lake Forest Mall down that way, and these people on foot have the same destinations that these cars traveling 50 miles an hour behind us have.
And the nearest alternative to getting under 270 would be West Diamond Avenue, Clapper Road, a little way south of here. Is it any better?
It's marginally better. They have since they widened the road underneath of 270, the shoulder got narrower, so you have about 2 feet now between the edge of the white line and the Jersey barrier. It's still not a very pleasant place to walk.
Well, this isn't my congressional district. You couldn't be doing this in my district today. We got 7 inches of snow. I just flew in last night. But we've got 34 of these trails in my district. And I wrote the language in the ICE-T that provide for scenic byways and enhancements and rails to trails and conversion of railroad grade beds to bicycle trails and pedestrian walkways. And I want to tell you something. The road gang is out to get you. They want to pour concrete and asphalt on anything that doesn't move, that isn't a road bed. And I'm just overstating it only a little bit. You've heard a little about ICE-T. The reauthorization happens this coming year in our committee in the Hill on the transportation and infrastructure. And we want all of you bicyclists and all of you rollerbladers and all of you pedestrians and walkers and hikers and bikers to write to your members of Congress. You got 2 of them right here who are real good supporters. But we need all of you writing and supporting the reauthorization and keeping these programs in place because they're good for America, they're good for health, they're good for the outdoors, they're good for growth and jobs and tourism. In my district, the Paul Bunyan Trail opened last summer. It's a 150-mile trail. We had 100,000 people using that trail and bikes and rollerblades and hiking, and they tripled the size of the Dairy Queen at the head of the trail, built 2 new ones, put in 3 bed and breakfasts, and opened a bike shop.
Visit us on the internet at www.pedestrians.org.